Hey, hey, hey. What's up, fam? Tawana is in the building today. Welcome to Tuesdays with Tawana. I am your host and your curator. Just turning on my do not disturb so I don't get phone calls in the midst of our conversation on today. All right, let me make sure we are live and we are going to make it happen today. I am so grateful. I missed y'all last week, and I actually was thinking about taking some time off today as well, and I just couldn't do it. Miss community, miss having a dialogue, miss building community with you, miss showing some love and shouting you out as you shout me out. What's up, Tony, in the building? I love you, sister. So, those of you who might be joining for the first time, we just chop it up here on Tuesdays with Tawana. We talk about anything and everything. You can dialogue through the comments, and I will insert your comment into this moment, into this narrative. Hey, Tammy. Always good to see you, my beautiful niece. Thanks for joining. And those of you who will listen via podcast, you'll hear me shout out some folk who have joined me on Facebook Live. And those of you who are joining through the podcast, if you want to comment on any of the various podcast platforms from Anchor to Spotify to Apple, you can feel free to do so. And I will engage with you there as well. My little buttercup is on today with her empty nesting self because her son has graduated from high school. Woohoo! Oh, Tony, I needed this today as well. I was just saying when we first got on that I was going to chill, and then I said, nah, I need community today. What's up, Reverend Brandy? Good to see you as always. Reverend Brandy is in the building. I got my favorite people around me today. Let me tell y'all who is sitting right next to me, who is not going to be on camera, but I look forward to any comment she has to say. The Reverend Dr. Regina Groff is in my home. This is how vaccinated people roll. This is how we do. We cover each other, we protect each other, and then we take advantage of this time to see each other ASAP. Hey, Larry, good to see you, brother. Yes, good to see you, Bobby. Thank you for joining. What's up, Christina Reed in the building, Miss AKA? I see you. I see you. So yeah, so let's chop it up today, y'all. It's a lot going on in this damn world. It's hard for me to keep up. Tammy said, "Got to be able to see and love on family." Absolutely, because the coronavirus is not over. It's not over. We still have people who are dying, and the people who are dying, unfortunately, are those who have not been vaccinated. I heard that on the news the other day. I did not do my research personally, but I did hear it from a reputable source, and we don't want our people dying. Hey, Mama Lovey, always good to see you and to just feel your positive energy. I love it. I love it. Oh, Reverend Brandy said hug each other for her. So we'll get a hug in again because we got one before the broadcast. We'll make sure we get another hug in. But we don't want our beloveds dying due to the coronavirus. And we have seen this. We have been in this situation. We have not been in this situation in our lifetime or in my lifetime. But when you think about the vaccines that we have to take for school, the MMR, the all of that, in order to go to school, you gotta be vaccinated, and this is probably going to be one of those vaccinations that are added to the list. You can take the flu shot. Oh, LJ is in the building. How are you, beloved? So good to see you. I miss you too. I hope you are well and doing well and healing, and just I love you dearly and miss you so much. So we have to take, well, no, we are, in order for us to be in certain situations like public school, we are required to have our children vaccinated. And then if your children are not vaccinated, you find alternate places and spaces to educate your child. So it's something that we really need to look at. Hey, Mother Carolyn, good to see you. There are certain things that we have to look at, um, alternatives, because if you don't want to get vaccinated or you can't get vaccinated, there are some people, for whatever is happening in their body where they cannot be vaccinated, there are alternatives that to flying, or alternatives to being in a public space, or the mere fact of wearing your mask when you're out and about if you are not vaccinated, to protect your family. Hey, Tim, good to see you. Yes, from First Unitarian. Yes, good to see you. Um, so there are alternatives to what we do. And LJ just said it's a long haul. COVID is hard. Thank you for inserting that into this narrative, because we have been praying for you. I have not named you because I did not get permission to actually name you, but you are one of those persons who got COVID. And as we are opening up and like everything is okay, and Black and brown people are still disproportionately vaccinated. We are vaccinated at a lower rate than our white counterparts. So here we are opening back up again, and we're putting ourselves at risk. We are putting ourselves at risk, and we are already at risk. Hey, my pink sister, grace and blessings to you as well. We are already at risk for every other disease that there is on this planet. Right? We're already at risk. So now we're adding to this risk. And hey, listen, I was going to call you Anthony. Forget, I never called you Anthony in the 20 something years we've known each other. England, what is going on? Yes, unfortunately, lost so many friends to COVID. My sister and my niece came to visit me the other day, and I was telling her about the people that we've lost in the family or close friends due to the coronavirus. Andrea said, yeah, COVID is still happening. It's still happening, and we must put that at the forefront of our conversation, of our dialogue, because then we can face it and do something about it and make some decisions about it, including those who just choose not to wear a mask, knowing that they're putting their own grandparents at risk, or elderly folk at risk, or those who are immune compromised at risk. We've got to come together and be that voice and really demand that some things are put in place so that we are protected, because they show us no love as it is, and we got to love ourselves and be willing and able to take care of ourselves and make those demands so that we are not put further at risk over something that we are not in control of. England said, glad you said that. I wouldn't have known you were talking to me. You right. I never called you by your first name. So just, PSA, and I'm probably preaching to the choir, because unfortunately there are a lot of people who have politicized the wearing of the mask and has minimized it to a political stance versus saving not only our own lives, but saving the lives of others as well. So it's really unfortunate. So unfortunately, the mask is not going away anytime soon. So wear your mask, continue to wash your hands. Colds are coming back, the flu is coming back. I don't want your flu. I don't want your cold. Let us continue to use these sanitizing practices that we have been adhering to over the last 14 months. Something as simple as soon as you walk into the house, washing your hands for 20 seconds. Every once in a while, taking a Clorox wipe and wiping down your doorknobs, and taking off your shoes when you walk into your home, taking off your clothes when you walk into your home. Get into your inside clothes, get into your comfortable clothes, right? Those are some things that we can continue to do to keep ourselves safe. Tim Murphy said a close friend had just passed from COVID about a week ago. I am so sorry to hear that. Let's keep taking care of each other. We are worth it. We are worth it for sure, for sure. Um, Speaking of being worth it, I want to talk a little bit about self-care as we continue to talk about COVID um, and the risks that continue to face us and impact us disproportionately from other people in the country. We talk about self-care, and I have found it very challenging just watching people navigate this space through being isolated and being quarantined over the last 14 months. And it's been hard for me. I'm a single person. My children are grown. I live by myself. And there are times when it's even hard for me to insert self-care into my daily regimen, but I do it. I do it. But if I had young kids, or if I had to work online and take care of kids, or a loved one, how do we then incorporate self-care in the midst of all of this? Right? It is so important during this time, especially during this time that can be very stressful, that we incorporate some semblance of self-care. So let me kind of stretch the adage of self-care. Let me stretch what it means and what it looks like. Because it's not just about getting your nails done. It's not just about going to get a massage. Those things cost money, and as we have seen and learned, that people are not making a livable wage. So how can we insert a narrative of self-care when self-care is full of capitalism and whiteness, right? And that privilege of going on a yoga retreat, that privilege of going away for the weekend to a summer home. Some of us do not have that opportunity, and we need to create those spaces of self-care right here in our own homes, to the point where I have told people, listen, when you go into the bathroom, spend another 10 minutes in the bathroom with the door closed and do some breathing exercises. Just sit there for a moment and try to clear your mind and love on yourself. Or when you put the kids down, take a bath. Listen to some music that you love, whether it's jazz or Mary or hip hop, whatever it is, taking those things that don't cost money, that you can incorporate into your daily life, no matter how short the time is, you will see and feel a huge difference when it comes to self-care. Self-care is saying no. Thank you, Tammy. It's taking a nap. It's reading a book. It's finding that time to take care of you, because if you don't take care of you, how can you take care of others? Bishop is in the building. What's up, Bishop Jones? Good to see you. Good to see you. What's up, Falami? Yes, this is up Falami's alley. If you are not friends with her on Facebook, you need to look her up. Falami DeVoe talks about body image, loving your body, talking about self-care. And the simple things we can do is lighting a candle and filling your home with a certain aroma, or saging your home, or lighting incense and just taking a deep breath and feeling and sensing that healing power that's happening. Because we talk about how we are healers. We are divine. We don't have to look on the outside for our healing. We look right. Everything we need is right here. And we need to know that, because if we don't know that, then other people dictate to us what self-care looks like. Other people dictate to us what it is to take care of our children. Other people dictate to us how we should respond to the coronavirus. Other people dictate to us how we should show up in this world. And we've got to know ourselves in order to be able to do all of those things, and then some, that's not contingent upon this capitalistic way of doing things. Everything is tied to the dollar, whether it's the healthcare system, whether it's this vaccination, whether it's opening up the schools and opening up cities and states. It's all tied into capitalism. Falami said, I'm talking her language. Absolutely. Absolutely. Tony says, I'm just going to say ouch and amen. But even Tony, you know, if you're not friends with Tony on Facebook, she's a makeup artist, and a part of her self care. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tony. I see the joy, and I feel and see the joy when you are doing your makeup on Instagram, and when you are doing your 30-day challenge, and showing different ways to take care of yourself, and simple makeup tips and more extensive makeup tips if you're going out or you're getting married or whatever. That is a form of self-care, doing something that you love, that brings you joy, that brings you peace, that brings you some semblance of happiness. That is a part of self-care. And in order to exhibit that self-care, you got to know what it is that brings you joy. You got to know what it is that brings a smile to your face. Bishop says, where there is no self-care, we will self-destruct. We must make ourselves a priority. Tammy just say she just friended Falami on Facebook. Ashe. LJ says self-care was a change in my diet. Wow. And deep breathing exercises, and listening to the group Beautiful Chorus, and doing some Palo Santo. See what I'm saying? See, when we start talking about this and sharing different ways that we can do self-care that's outside of capitalism, then we can talk about self-care being inclusive. We can talk about being self-care being an opportunity for everybody. Thank you, Christina. She said, I'm saying a mighty word, because it is so important that we take care of ourselves. And y'all know, listen, this is coming from someone who is going on 4+ years of fighting every day for her life. HER2 metastatic breast cancer is no joke. And every day I have to fight for my life. I must rest. I must make sure I put some semblance of good food in my body. I must make sure I move my body 30 minutes a day. I gotta make sure I take care of myself, because if I don't take care of myself, the cancer will know that, and the cancer will take over. Just like the cancer in society will take over and begin to eat us alive. Audre Lorde was a prophet way before her time. Way before her time. Because she talks about us defining ourselves for ourselves, or what? Or we are going to be eaten alive because we're crunched into other people's fantasies of us. And they have these ill fantasies of us. They're still trying to figure out how we survived all this time when they tried to take us out. They're still trying to figure out how we maintain black joy when we're being killed by the hands of law enforcement. They're still trying to figure out how we have black joy when the healthcare system don't show us no love and doesn't honor our pain and honor what we bring when we come in looking for help, and you're looking down on me because of the color of my skin. I still have black joy when I'm underrepresented in the news media and in entertainment and in the magazines, when I'm standing at the supermarket and all I see is white people on the cover of all these magazines that they want me to buy. They're still trying to figure out how we make that happen. Because there is something in our DNA that is not of this nation. There is something in our DNA that tells us that we come from resilience. We come from beauty. We come from divinity. We come from power. We come from strength. We come from unconditional positive regard. We come from love. We come from all those things, which is why let's talk about critical race theory and why they don't want it in the schools. Because they don't want the world to know how evil white people were to black folk. Period. Full stop. No apology for it. Systemically. Critical race theory is history. Critical race theory is telling our story. Critical race theory is centering black people and black experiences. And they are not ready for it. They don't want that. Which is why they're trying to stop the voting and doing voter suppression. This is why they're doing what they're doing with opening up all the cities and states. Critical race theory is telling our story. And our story has never been told in public schools. Everything that I have learned from my history and being a black person in America, I have learned from my parents. I have learned from my church. I have learned from being around historians and being around people, elders who I sat at their feet and just listened to their stories of picking cotton or listening to their stories of how they made it through. Listen, if you have not watched the documentary High on the Hog, I need you to it's 4 episodes. Each one is an hour. It's on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, have a watch party with someone, not too many people, and make sure everybody's vaccinated. Amen. Make sure everyone is vaccinated. But please watch High on the Hog. It really talks about how we have defined and orchestrated and created and produced every MFing thing in this country. From the cuisine, we were the first caterers. The first caterers. Black cowboys. When you look at old movies and all those cowboys are white, that is white supremacist thought. That is white dominant thought. That is intentionally keeping black folk out of the history of this country. Listening to the podcast Black Cowboys will teach you a little something, something. Listen to that as well. My. They don't want critical race theory in the schools. And then you know what? Those of us who I think look like me, they may not have my chocolate melanated skin, but they are of the black diaspora. But they also believe that critical race theory should not be taught in schools because they have been indoctrinated into white thought. They live in white communities. They make white money. They think that people don't see them for their color and for who they are and the rich history that they have. And they erase all of that because they rather conform to what is going on now with racism and patriarchy and all the other things that push us to the side, and they ignore themselves. And my beloved Regina said, if you don't know yourself, then you are fooled. You are able to be fooled by these premises that are being taught to us. These adages that are being put on us, this thought that is being put on us that we are less than, that we are not worth it, that we are not human, that we are not worthy of life and of breath. You got to know yourself. So watching documentaries like High on the Hog or embracing the movie In the Heights, I know there's some challenges with the casting for In the Heights, but colorism is real and colorism has been real for quite a long time. And the person who wrote Lin-Manuel, who wrote In the Heights, he even said that he has a lot to learn. That's all we're asking. Open yourself up to learn. Open yourself up to learn about how colorism has been in effect in this country since slavery, even probably before that, right? And how it impacts us. We just want you to open up and just learn. So critical race theory is about learning, but white supremacy culture ain't trying to learn all that. They're trying to hold on to their false sense of power. They're trying to hold on to their perfectionism. They're trying to hold on to their only one way. This is the right way. They're trying to hold on to you make a mistake, then you are the mistake. They're trying to hold on to everything is linear. You go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, you get married and you have kids. That's their way and the only way. If you don't do it that way, then you are less than. You are not worthy. They're opening up these jails because this is the new Jim Crow. This is mass incarceration. They want to keep you incarcerated and keep you separated from your families like they did during the time when they brought us over here and enslaved us. Critical race theory, a teaching tool, centering Black lives and Black experiences. They're not ready because it calls out their racist behavior. It calls out the evilness in their humanity. Not to say that they can't change. I hope that they will. I have hope. I hope that they will. This is why Soul to Soul Sisters does Facing Racism. We're not in there talking about check off the boxes. We're centering Black women and Black lives and Black experiences unapologetically, and we're calling out white supremacy to a group of majority of white folk, calling them in to discussion and dialogue about how they built this system, and white people need to dismantle it so that we can build a system together that has some semblance of an egalitarian system, a just system, a system of equity, not equality. One of my someone said to me that they thought that they were doing the work, and they were doing the work because they thought equity was doing the work of including people of color into their whiteness. Beloved, that's not the work. And she realized that. She's a dear friend of mine. She realized that. And realized that, no, it's about dismantling these systems that were not for us to begin with, including our very own Constitution that still calls for slavery, including the Bill of Rights, including all of that that calls our native indigenous persons, First Nation persons, savages. It's still there. And critical race theory will call it out. And they don't want that. They're not ready. White supremacist thought, white dominant thought. It's not only for white people, which is why it's called this white supremacy thought or white supremacy culture, because those people of color can fall under that. And we've seen that in the likes of people who were in office. A notable surgeon that we were so proud of, Ben Carson. We see it all the time, how, people of color will demean or degrade young Black people for living in the places and spaces where they live, and they're trying to make the best of the situation. And we have someone who looks just like me looking down upon me because I don't have the privilege of being in the corporate world because of design, by design, redlining, and keeping jobs from us and keeping us from education. If they would just forgive student loans. They're not ready to forgive student loans because it'll impact us in a good way. Why would they want to do that? Who does that? We're asking America to do it. The America that we love so much, and it doesn't love us back. Forgive the student loans so then we can free up some money to do some investing, to buy some land, to be owners, to be of the owning class, if you will. Right? So we can come together and take care of our babies and our children and make sure that we are running for office and we're doing the things that we need to do. But it's hard to do those things when our basic needs are not met. Maslow's hierarchy of needs taught us that a long time ago. If we don't have food on the table, why in the hell am I going to think about critical race theory? And I'm worried about feeding my children. But we have a voice, beloved. We have a voice. And that voice needs to be inserted into a narrative that continues to kill us mind, body, and spirit every day. And even if we have a voice and we don't want to insert it into that narrative, we need to use that voice to put it out into the atmosphere. So then kingdoms will fall. We're not about empire. We're not about conforming to empire. We're about doing what we are called to do as divine human beings, and building community with one another and supporting one another. And as the Negro Council for women, their motto, lifting as we climb. As we climb, we lift others right along up with us, because somebody else is also lifting me up as I climb. That's how this thing is supposed to work. So we use our voice to go against the status quo and to dismantle these systems that weren't designed for us to begin with. We support uh, documentaries like High on the Hog. We support movies like In the Heights. We support other movie makers and screenwriters and all of those, Ava DuVernays and all of those who are out there trying to hire us so that our face, because we're spending the money, right? We spend the most money in this country, and yet we are the most marginalized, historically marginalized, right? So before we close, let me go to some of these comments. I see some of the comments were on and popping. Thank you very much. How can I have peace when I can't feel ease in this country? Thank you, Christina. So true. So they don't want to teach critical. Oh yeah, they don't want to teach critical race theory because it's about us. It centers our lives and our episodes. LJ said the first episode had me in tears when he was at the gate of no return. LJ, I cried all 4 episodes. I'm not even gonna lie. There was something in every single episode that brought tears to my eyes. And I felt joyous, and I felt sad, and then I cried tears of joy. All of that was happening. I'm telling you, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. And our beloved Adrienne Miller is in it from Colorado. So you gotta watch it to support my friend. Tammy says, so proud of Stephen's work, High on the Hog. He is amazing. Yes, he is. He did an amazing job with this. Christina says, Pose is my favorite. Oh, Posse is my favorite Western. It highlights we were there. Absolutely. And then Tamika is posting some podcasts for us. Tim says, oh, some of those caterers were in his hometown. Yeah, tell those stories, Tim. Insert those stories into a narrative that often ignores us and dismisses us. So that's our time today. Remember to take care of yourself. We don't have to feed into capitalism to take care of ourselves. We have our own indigenous practices that we can use to take care of ourselves. Deep breathing, meditation, aromatherapy, rest. Bishop Trisha Hersey talks about it all the time. If you don't follow her on Instagram, follow her. She will remind you that rest is revolutionary and working, and a grind culture. If grind culture doesn't include rest, I'm not trying to grind like that. Because then I won't live to see the fruits of my labor. I won't live. No way. And of course, my beloved Regina put up my Teespring that I always forget to put up. I'm still raising money for school, beloveds. This trimester, still need to reach my goal of $3,000. So you can do so. Either I have my Zelle and my Venmo and PayPal put up, or you can go to Teespring and pick a shirt and Sport Tuesdays with Tawana. When you buy a shirt, take a picture, send it to me, and I will post it to social media. God bless you, my sister. God bless you. I'm so grateful that you join me as often as you do. All of you, thank you for building community, one Facebook broadcast at a time, one podcast at a time. I love y'all to the moon and beyond. Words can't even express how much I love you and how much I look forward to having this moment and engaging in dialogue. Thank you for engaging in the comments and really making this a communal moment. So I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Get vaccinated if you can. Pray about getting vaccinated, because Black folk in the healthcare system, there is a mistrust there. I get it. I'm not here to shame you. I'm not here to guilt you into anything, but just know that the decisions that we make are not just our decisions. That's the difference from whiteness. We are communal. So the I am because you are. So the decisions that you make impact me and impact other people. So if you're not going to get vaccinated, that means that you have to wear a mask, and you won't be able to go out and do the things that you would normally do around the amount of people that you would normally do it around. It's a decision to make, but understand that there are some other subsequent steps that need to be taken to protect yourself and to protect others as well. So take care of you. Remember to speak life into critical race theory. These schools are really trying it with us. They're really trying it, but we're not having it. We're not. we can change the world. And that's what we're about to do, because we are just that beautiful and that divine and that amazing and that resilient and that powerful and that beautiful. So let's make it happen. I'm out, y'all. Love you much. Later.